Welcome to More Influence and Impact, the show that unlocks secrets of success for multi-six and seven-figure entrepreneurs. I am your host, Celia Faye Meisel, sales growth consultant, and I'm here to help you tap into the wealth of knowledge, strategies, and experiences of today's most influential industry leaders. I am bringing my guest, Ann Carden, up. Hello, Ann.
Hello. Hi, Celia. It's so great to be here with you.
Excited to have you on the show today. And we are going to be talking about next level marketing strategies for lead generation, which is so hot because business owners always think they need more leads, want more leads, and don't always know what to do to get more leads.
Exactly. Well, it's something that everyone has to do in their business, right? So it's never going to get old or go away.
Exactly. And so let me take a minute to introduce you to our listeners and viewers. Ann is a business consultant and marketing strategist with over 41 years of experience. And she is known for her brand Expert in You, where she helps experts get their businesses to the next level. Right now, she's going for $1 million businesses, that want to have $1 million business. She is a 3-time published author on business and marketing success. And she has been seen on media outlets like ABC, NBC, CW, and Fox. Plus, she has been on so many podcasts. You'll always see her on YouTube, LinkedIn. I mean, she is a marketing queen. So I'm so excited to have her on today and be sharing some of her next level strategies for marketing.
Well, thank you. I'm so honored to be here with you. It's going to be a
Yes.
fun conversation. Let's
It
have some fun.
is. It is. So when it comes to lead gen, we can explore like all the different areas that you teach your clients about because so many people think it's paid ads. Like paid ads are the only
Right.
way to go. And what happens to businesses when they only focus on paid ads? Like what do you see happen?
Well, first of all, paid ads do not have the same impact they had maybe even 3 or 5 years ago. Ad spend keeps going up, right? One thing that I've seen, Celia, is that it is more critical now than ever to build a brand online so that you can be seen across all social media platforms. There's congruency in your brand and what you stand for. And when you do that, it lays a very strong foundation in your marketing. And so even if you are putting money into ad spend, it will actually help your ads. It will bring down the cost of your ads because now people can go check you out other ways. So they're not relying on this ad to see, okay, do I trust this person? Do this person? When you have a strong brand for your business or for even a personal brand, people now have other ways that they can go and check you out. They can see what you're all about. You are already building the know, like, and trust. So now it's a matter of, do they want what you have running in that ad? So that's the first thing. It can bring down ad spend. It can make ad spend work better for you. You can get a higher return on your investment. So that's the first thing I would say.
Yes, because if a company is focusing on exclusively on ad spend and they don't have any social media presence, they're not really marketing to their list, they basically just have like an ice cold audience all around.
Exactly, exactly. And we know that just doesn't work in the marketplace today because people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. That's nothing new. People have heard that forever, but it really is true. And if people are going to invest their hard earned money, they want to know that this is the right way to go. So when you have great content, when you have a great brand, when again, people can, it really does the heavy lifting for you in your business to bring you what I like to call qualified clients. It's a really interesting statistic too. LinkedIn did a survey a while back, and they found out that 70% of all consumers said that they would be more likely to trust a brand that was well established on LinkedIn. Now that's just one platform, but
Mhm.
that was such a significant thing because I always say, even if LinkedIn's not going to be your main platform, you should be there. Should
Mhm.
be there with a strong profile. You should be there with a strong marketing because Number one, Google, it's searchable. It comes up right at the top of Google when someone puts in your name, and it's almost like a mini website, and it's a search engine. So
Mhm.
that's an important piece. But I thought it was really important to understand 70% said they would be more likely to trust a brand if they were established on LinkedIn. Well, I think the same thing applies. If people are well established online across social media, they're going to be much more likely to trust to buy from you.
Yes, I have a lot of conversations with marketing experts, and we'll talk about how bu businesses, if you're doing B2B, but also consumers B2C, will
Mhm.
go to your pages and check you out to, number one, verify that you even have a business. Because if you haven't posted a really long time, sometimes people think, oh, they've closed their business or they're not
Exactly.
very successful. I know in the B2B space, they'll assume that you just don't have a business or you're not doing anything because you're not ever posting and you're not keeping it up to date.
Yes, and it doesn't matter really if you're a brick and mortar business owner, if you're an entrepreneur online, it doesn't make any difference. The same guidelines still really apply. What I hear, I work with a lot of business coaches, and they will say, "Well, I'm out networking and I'm building my business that way." But you're missing out. Number one, you're
Mhm,
you're probably missing out on clients because they are searching you. They are going to
mhm,
check you out, whether you know they are doing that or not. They're
mhm,
doing it behind your back. Don't kid yourself. And
mhm,
the other piece of it is, again, it really establishes that credibility and that authority that you're the real deal, that you're a real business, that you're someone that they can count on or can be trusted. So even if you are marketing, doing a lot of offline marketing, it is still just as important. We just can't get away with it anymore. And if you want to stand out against competition, competition is more fierce than it's ever been in the
mhm,
marketplace, thanks to COVID, and everybody fired up an online business, or
mhm,
everybody came into the market and decided to start businesses. The competition is rough, it's fierce. And so if you want to stand out, if you want to be seen and heard, you have got to again build up that authority and that brand so that you stand out in the marketplace. There's only one Celia Faye Meisel, there's only
right,
one Ann Carden, right?
right,
But if nobody knows about us, or they
mhm.
don't really know what we do or how we can help, again, you're missing out on opportunities. You're leaving a lot of money on the table, quite honestly.
I agree. I agree. And yeah, building that thought leadership and all of
Mhm.
that is so important in today's marketplace. And I know when you're up against, big guru businesses, their digital footprint is huge. They have a team and they're constantly putting out content and then you're up against the person like maybe they got introduced to your business. They got introduced to your solution through you, but it's your competitors that are in their face every day. And so they
Yes.
end up spending their money with your competitor because you're not showing up and you're not giving them value and educating them and moving them from that through that buying cycle to get them to close.
Exactly. And you bring up a really good point, even if you're getting a referral, because I work with a lot of consultants, right? And they say, well, I get referrals, or a lot of coaches say, I get referrals. That's great. Referrals are amazing. But again, if people are going to go check you out behind your
Mhm,
back before they probably ever get on a call with you,
mhm,
or after they get on a call with you, they're going to check you out in, deeper. And so if you don't have a well-established brand, even if it's a referral, you could miss out. And so it's just such an important piece of marketing in today. I just don't even think it's negotiable anymore. It's a
mhm,
necessity.
mhm,
Unless you want to just burn up money, if you
mhm,
want to just throw money in the trash and light it on fire, I always say, in ad spend and in marketing and doing all the things, why would you want to give up all of your profitability when you could organically be building a strong brand? And also, it's a long game. So building
mhm,
a strong foundation and a great brand is a long game, whereas marketing is more of a short game, right? It's like,
mhm,
okay, who wants to buy now? You need both in marketing. And
mhm,
so if you don't have both, you're missing, again, huge opportunity, and you're basically going to send business elsewhere. You were
mhm.
absolutely right.
Great points. Great points. And so, when you quoted that study that LinkedIn did and that statistic, is there a difference between someone having like a personal page where they're building their brand versus that company page? Does that make a difference at all?
That's a really great point. So first of all, if you're building a big company where you are not going to really be the face of your company, you really need a company page. That's
Hmm.
where most people will go. They'll search you by company, right? But if you're a personal brand, if you are really the face of your brand, I have both, but my
Hmm.
main activity is on my personal profile on
Hmm.
LinkedIn, because that is where I'm building my personal brand. And that's where I'm connecting and building relationships. I'm not really building relationships on my company page.
Okay.
And so understanding you still should have a company page because again, you want to be an established business, but you want to really establish that personal brand on your personal profile.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. I hope that made sense.
It does. It does. And I figured the listeners and viewers that might pop up for them. And
Mhm.
so,
No, it's a great question.
yeah, awesome. Thank you. And so when it comes to like lead generation, so we know like having the strong brand,
Mhm.
building that audience. Um, can you talk a little bit about how to like leverage other people's audiences as a lead generation strategy?
Sure. There's actually several ways you can do it.
Okay.
So, the first way you can do it is one of my favorite ways, which is podcasting.
Hmm.
You can leverage other people's audiences by inviting people to be on your. So, if you want to do your own podcast, you can invite people to be on your podcast. We're doing it right now, right?
Hmm.
And so, when you post this and you put this out there, of course, I'm going to want to share it with my audience
Hmm.
because I've been interviewed by you. That helps my brand, that helps my
Hmm.
credibility, but it also now allows you to be seen in front of my audience and we get to cross promote. So that's one way. You can also do it from a guesting standpoint. So when you find podcasts that have your audience, you can go and be a guest on their podcast and then get in front of their audience that way. So that's one way.
Hmm.
Speaking is another great opportunity where you can go in and speak to other people's communities or other people's audiences. We even do that at a conference, right? Someone creates a conference, I go be a speaker on their stage. I am leveraging other people's audiences. I didn't
Hmm.
have to do anything to put those people in the room. So, speaking, whether that's virtually or whether that's on a stage, it doesn't matter. You're still doing that same thing. They're curating the audience, and then you show up and you give the value. Those are all very leveraged ways to market. And
Hmm.
I like to teach my clients next level marketing strategies. So they're all very leveraged ways of marketing. So you're not necessarily going out there trying to find one client at a time. You're
Hmm.
tapping into bigger amounts of people, a one to many approach. So those are two really great ways. The other thing is just collaborative partners creating events together. So we have
Hmm.
the opportunity virtually where you can actually collaborate. You can create an event together and you leverage each other's audiences. They don't do the same thing as you, they complement your services. And now you have a winning collaboration there as well. And I know you do that, Celia, in your
Hmm.
business, your sales, and you collaborate with marketing people. And
Hmm.
then that allows you to be seen to marketing people or to their audience. And
Yeah.
so that's a really, really key way to build your business.
I agree. I agree. And having those partnerships, the referral
Mhm.
partners, the people that share the same audience, all of that, it's so powerful. And you really create like a strong like ecosystem around your business.
Yes.
So how does a business go, find like the right strategies that will work for them, those right lead generation strategies? Like, what do you suggest that path looks like?
Yeah, so this is where a lot of people make a mistake, Celia.
Okay.
They think that it's a one size fits all.
Right.
It's a cookie cutter approach. Let's build a Facebook group and I'll put everybody in a Facebook group and I'll sell to them.
Mm.
However, everyone is not in a Facebook group. For example, if you're in the corporate space or you're a leadership coach or you're working with corporate clients, you are not going to find high level CEOs hanging out in Facebook groups, right?
Mm-mm.
You might not find a lot of high level professionals. You may not find affluent people hanging out in a Facebook group. And so even small business owners, brick and mortar type of businesses, they may not be hanging out in a Facebook group unless they're
Mhm.
like a solo owner where
Mhm.
they have more, maybe more time to do that. And so if you don't really understand your audience and what will work for them, you will probably go down the wrong path, and you'll go down a
Mm.
lot of rabbit holes trying a lot of different things. And this is where a good strategist, a good coach can help you
Mhm.
really determine what's going to be the best fit for you and your business. Someone who really has real world experience. They've worked with multiple types of businesses. I've worked in over 60 different industries with business owners, hundreds and hundreds of them. And there's not a one size fits all for any of them. They
Mhm.
all need to be marketing different ways because of who they're targeting. So it's important to know a funnel doesn't work. The ascension ladder funnel doesn't work for certain types of clients. And
Mhm.
so if you don't know these things, you need to be working with someone who really does know these things,
Mhm.
because otherwise you're just going to waste time, energy, and money.
I agree. I agree. And with my clients, one of the things I do is we vet a lot of different marketing agencies
So
and
you see.
experts. And I see how I support my clients where I'm really inside of their business and advocating for them and helping them to not do the shiny object, like, oh, let me just go buy this thing. And I really find with these marketing agencies in particular, is that they're just so quick to, yes, we can do our thing, we'll do our
Sure.
service, we just want to sell you into the thing, and they don't look at the business as a whole, the whole
Right.
business, and will our style work. And so these the business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs that I work with, it's like there's a lot of educating them of like knowing what questions to ask, and
Mhm.
like, is this company really going to serve you? And I know that you've gone in and helped your clients untangle messes
Oh
that
gosh.
marketing agencies, and you have a lot of horror stories, I'm sure, of clients who have
Yes.
just thrown money. I mean, I think
Yes, and
marketing
I've made those mistakes too. When I came online and the whole online world was new to me,
Yeah,
I spent a fortune on marketers
yeah,
because thinking they knew something I didn't know.
yeah,
And so I learned a lot of the things that I now teach my clients. I learned the hard way. I learned
yeah,
with my hard, cold money, and I learned
yeah.
with my time and my energy and my efforts. So, yeah, it's important, Celia, that people, when they are talking to someone, you have to find out real experience there, and you
Mhm.
really have to. I mean, I can't tell you how many times people think I need a funnel, and I need a $7 lead magnet, but I
Yeah,
want to sell this $50,000 thing. it's
yeah,
it's not doesn't work that way. A $7 client's not going to be a $50,000 client. They're not
no,
going to go through that whole buying cycle. They will be somebody that will watch a 5-minute video and they'll go, oh my gosh, you're the person I need to work with. And so
yeah,
if you don't know this, and same thing with like corporate clients or high level CEOs, again, it all depends on who you're targeting. CPAs, this is another example. Working with a client who was working with CPA firms. Well, they're not
mhm,
hanging out online. They're not
mhm,
hanging out on LinkedIn. And so you have to go to them. You have to
mhm,
figure out how to get in front of them. And that's all marketing. That's all a marketing strategy, right? So it's important for people to know there is not a cookie cutter. There's not a one size fits all. This is where you need to work with someone who truly does have they've been there. They have a wide variety of experience, not just doing one thing, one type of marketing, and they
mhm.
think that's good for everyone.
Yes, and I think too, it's so important to hold those hires and those companies and agencies you invest with accountable as well for producing KPI reports and doing trust them but verify too, like check that they're doing their work. And
Yes.
that's another way, that because you can pay these companies and then they're not following through on what they've promised, or they're not delivering at the
Mm,
level, the quality level that your business should be showing up as, especially to be that match to the ideal client. So
mhm.
there's just so many things to really look for. And I think today's business owner just has there, you just have to be all hands on deck and fully
Mhm.
present and with it, and not um, abdicating responsibility. Like, you're delegating, you're handing this over, but you're not just like head down and
Right.
ignoring.
And part of the reason that happens, Celia, is because a lot of business owners, number one, they're good at their business, right? Like
Yep.
they're in their business. They don't understand marketing. They don't understand what to look for. They don't
Yep.
understand who's going to be a good fit. But here is what I will say. Every person that's going to be in business, they need to educate themselves to a level so that
Mhm.
they don't get taken advantage of or ripped off. I mean, I can't even tell you the marketing agencies I invested in thinking that this was going to be the way that they could do it for me, only to find out I didn't know enough about marketing. It's actually why I really went on a mission,
Mhm.
because I burned up so much money. Not, I mean, when I was building businesses for many years, I used to tell my staff, I should have just thrown that money in the trash and lit it
Mhm.
on fire because I got nothing from that marketing. And I would hire agencies and
Mhm.
they couldn't do anything. They didn't do anything for me either that I
Mhm.
couldn't have done myself. So it's important to at least know the basics and the fundamentals to know whether or not you are being taken advantage of. And here's my philosophy too. If someone is a coach or a consultant, they're guiding you, right? You
Mhm.
don't have complete control over, if, as long as you know that you're supporting them in the way that you know will work, and
Mhm.
you're guiding them and you're supporting them, it's up to them to take action. But when
Right.
you hire marketers and they are going to do it for you,
Mhm.
now you have to hold them accountable because
Yep.
this is what they said they would deliver. And if they don't do that, there is a problem.
Mhm.
They either don't know enough to make it work, or they don't care what, but
Mhm.
you've got to hold them accountable. It's
Mhm.
like if you hire an employee, you say you're going to work 40 hours, you're going to show up at 8, you're going to leave at 5, and I'm going to hold you accountable to make sure that you're working your hours. It's no different for a
Mhm.
marketing agency,
Mhm.
and yet so many of them take advantage. The other thing you have to be careful of is that they don't hurt your brand. For
Mm.
a lot of years, so yeah, I hired marketers on LinkedIn thinking that they knew, because I wasn't that familiar with the LinkedIn
Mhm.
platform, only for really they hurt my brand more than
Mhm.
they helped me, and I never got anything from it. And I
Mhm.
hired a few of them, few different
Mhm.
ones, thinking, okay, well, the last one wasn't so good, but yeah, your process looks a little different, only to find out once again that it wasn't the right way to go. So a
Mhm.
lot of the things that I teach are things that I've already proven are not
Mhm.
good ways to do things. And I try to help people avoid those pitfalls and those mistakes.
Mhm. And so for your business now, is all of your marketing in-house? Like, you have your own team that does your marketing, and are you, like, driving the strategy? And tell us about that.
Yes, I do. I really keep control over what's going on inside of my business. And here's the reality. When you really know what you're doing with your marketing, you can save a lot of money by just building your own team to do it for you.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, if there is something new that I'm trying where it's not my wheelhouse, or I haven't yet found the person that I know I want to bring in-house, then I can hire someone outside. But again, I make sure I'm educated enough and I
Mhm.
know enough of the basics and the fundamentals, and I do with marketing, that I could still hold them accountable. And so if you are going to hire outside and go with an agency, again, you should have the foundation in place that you know whether you're being taken advantage of or not.
Mhm.
So I do both, but for the most part, I build my own team with something new. So a good example of this is right now, I'm getting ready to do YouTube marketing, and that's new. And I haven't yet launched that. Um, but I am learning about it before I launch it so that I can make sure when we do that, we can minimize the spend, and we
Mhm.
can really increase the ROI, and then I know the things to shift or to look for. So I've really been educating myself in that area. If you have somebody that really has a very proven track record, you don't necessarily have to be that person, but I think there still has to be a level of responsibility that as
Mhm.
a CEO you take for your business, and not just put it off on other people.
Yes, 100%. And because teaching marketing is a part of what you do in your business and how you help your clients, it makes sense that you might be a little bit more.
I'm more engrossed in it, yes, because
Yes,
I get to learn along the way, absolutely, and then I get to share that with
exactly.
my clients. Yes.
Exactly, exactly. And so I know we're coming up on time here soon, and like we've talked about marketing today, but that's like just one of the ways that you help
Mm,
clients, right? Just one of the ways, and you help people in many other ways, experts. And one way is like helping them to create like ultra high-end packages and
yes.
premium pricing. And what are some of the other ways you help your clients in your company?
Yeah, so when you're looking at business, it's so many things, right? It's you have to have a revenue model that people are going to want to buy the offers. So I help them with offer creation. That could be multiple different ways that they're selling their services inside their business. So I help them with all of that. I call it really your core offer. What's going to be the core offer of your business? And then
Mhm.
how can you build out from that? So that's the first thing. If you don't have a revenue model that's going to make you money, no amount of
Mhm.
marketing or lead gen is going to make you money.
Mhm.
And so you have to realize that. The second thing is I do obviously in the marketing, but not just the strategy, but also the brand, all of
Mhm.
those pieces, even writing a book if they want to get an expert book written or start their podcast or virtual events. I
Mhm.
have lots of ways I help my clients market, not just one. And then
Mhm.
also sales. They have to be able to close those sales, right?
Mhm.
And then how do you ramp up revenue? Like, how can you
Mhm.
now keep scaling to that $1 million, even beyond? So, my whole philosophy is around helping you build $1 million business or more with five and six
Mhm.
figure clients. And the reason for that is because it's not a huge volume model. You don't need
Mhm.
thousands of people. Some people want to work with thousands of people, but a lot of the people that I work with, they want more of a dream life, more freedom from their business. And so they want to work at a higher level. But
Mhm.
then there's a lot of things that still go into growing, right? You've got to build your team. You've got to make sure you have systems in place. You have to make sure your marketing system is an
Mhm.
engine and is in place. And so there's just so many moving parts to business. I really am an A to Z coach. And the fact that
Mhm.
not only can I help people sort of get, from that below six figures to seven or even beyond, but I
Mhm.
even helping people. I've worked with a lot of businesses that were already multiple $1 million businesses, and we
Mhm.
were able to even double and triple that. So I like to say I'm not a cookie cutter coach. I really work with people where they are in their business and then help them implement what they need to hit the big goals that they have and have the life that they want.
Mhm. Right, because if you've got the money and the business, but you don't have the life, that's a big
Exactly.
missing piece. So it's that whole the whole picture of what you want from the revenue to the life that you enjoy.
But I
And then
do
how
want
I'm
oh, I
sorry.
was gonna no, I was just gonna share something about that.
Yeah.
People do have to know, though, that when you're building something big to get that dream life, there are gonna be some bumps along the way, and there is gonna
Absolutely.
be some uncomfortableness, and there some stretching, and maybe your life won't look like that right away, but
Mhm.
you're building into that, right? And so
Yeah.
people need to be realistic about that as well, and sometimes they're not. They think, "Oh, it should just be magic, and now you've got this dream life, this dream business, you're filling up your bank account, and it's a process. Like anything worth having, it's a process."
It is so true, and I appreciate that dose of reality because a lot of times, especially when entrepreneurs get into that shiny object, like, "I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be a quick fix, and it's gonna solve
Mhm.
all my problems." I have a client that I've really been educating them about this person that you hire, their job isn't to save your business. Like, we have to
Exactly.
get out of that headspace that they're here because then it's always the, superhero victim, they're gonna save
Right.
me. "Oh, no, they're horrible," and
Well
that can
put.
happen, but getting out of that headspace to be like, you're the leader, you run the business, you're the
That's right.
CEO, you take responsibility, and this person is here to help bring your vision into a reality.
Yes. And along with that too, I've always told business owners for years, your business is only as good as your worst person.
Yeah.
So if you have someone on your team that's not performing, or they're dragging down the business, or they're a cancer to the other employees, or whatever that is, all the things that happen in a business, that's where you get to step in as the CEO, and you've got to fix that situation. And if you don't do that, again, you're only going to, it's like a bad marriage where people get a
Mhm.
divorce and then they go marry the same kind of person
Yeah.
again, right? And it's the same thing. If you don't learn the skill set, if you don't get the mindset that's required to become the CEO of your business, you're always going to be pushing everything off on other people, only to be completely disappointed and not get your
Mhm.
business to where you really want it, what that dream is. So it's
Mhm.
important that we're responsible for everything that goes on in our business, good and bad, period. You
Mhm.
will not ever hear me say anything else.
Mhm. I agree completely, 100% full responsibility. Well, thank you so much for your time and your expertise, Anne. And we are going to be providing links in our show notes and in our video. And so let us know where to go and connect with you from your words.
Yes, you can find me all over social media, first of
Mhm.
all. Or if you want to book a call because you like something that I've talked about, you can book a call with me at acarden.com. But I also do have a Facebook group that you can get into if
Mhm.
you want more and you want to go deeper with some of the things that I do. So thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for asking.
You are welcome. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to More Influence and Impact today with my guest, Ann Carden. This is Celia Faye Meisel, and I will see you next time.